Spain calls for 100% tax charge on property bought by non-EU buyers. Spain is preparing to implement a 100% tax on property purchases made by buyers outside of the EU in an attempt to better handle the country's mounting housing crisis by decreasing foreign purchases. This is one of 12 measures that Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced in an effort to try to improve the housing crisis. Spain has been facing a lack of affordable properties to rent or buy following soaring property prices exacerbated by rising inflation and interest rates. The situation has led to anger and discontent among residents, made worse by the lack of the building of new homes, which has meant housing demand is considerably outstripping supply, thus pushing prices up further. Sanchez said the West faces a divisive challenge to not become a society divided into two classes, the rich landlords and poor tenants. Just to give an idea, in 2023 alone, non-European residents bought around 27,000 houses and flats in Spain, and they didn't do it to live in them. They did it for their families to have a place. They didn't do it for their families to have a place to live. They did it to speculate, to make money from them, which we, in the context of this shortage that we are in, obviously cannot allow. So that is what we're dealing with here as far as Mr. Sanchez's proposals are concerned. The main one, of course, for a lot of people that are watching this video is that 100% tax charge on property bought by non-EU viewers. Now, of course, this is just an idea that the government has put forward, nothing set in concrete. Yes, it has to get parliamentary approval. All of the measures that the Prime Minister put on the table yesterday have to get parliamentary approval. And some of the other measures are, for example, that if you decide to take your rental property here in Spain off the short-term rental market and put it on the long-term rental market, there will be fiscal advantages for you. So that's another thing that the Prime Minister put forward yesterday. But of course, blaming the foreign purchases here in Spain purely on speculation, that is what he said. People only buy property in Spain. I think the figures put forward yesterday, 27,000 houses and flats in Spain bought by non-EU residents, and according to the Prime Minister, for speculation purposes. So we'll see if he's got that right, if this plan will work. A lot of people skeptical, and of course bad news for people that were looking to buy property here in Spain with the idea of maybe retiring in the future. If this idea does go through, the only way that you would be able to get around that is to become a resident here in Spain and then purchase property. You would be exempt from that 100% tax, or up to 100% tax, because that was the maximum, I think. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you think of Mr. Sanchez's proposals that he put out yesterday. Let me know if they will get off the ground or not. Time will tell. We will see. But as I said, a lot of people worried about this, especially people that, as I said, had plans to retire or move here in the future from outside the EU. Second piece of news here, in driving schools oppose supervised driving for 17-year-olds with non-professional tutors. Driving schools in Spain are opposing a proposal to allow 17-year-olds to drive under supervision by an adult with a valid license and sufficient experience. Known as supervised driving, this initiative has been encouraged by the EU since 2009 and was unsuccessfully attempted in Spain in 2011. The EU reiterated its recommendation in late 2023, specifying that the supervising adult should be at least 25 years old and have held a license for 5 years. Spain's Interior Ministry has since announced plans to implement the scheme. The National Commission for Markets and Competition supports the proposal, suggesting it could make learning to drive more accessible as it is in other European countries. However, Spanish driving schools, no surprise there, represented by two unions, strongly oppose the measure. They argue that non-professional tutors lack the training to provide proper instruction and fear that inexperienced supervisors could pass on bad driving habits. So there we go. the opposition to this idea put forward by the government, the driving schools, of course, because as we know, they want to continue their monopoly in the driving market or the learning to drive market in this country and not have people work their way around that system, basically, which is what the government is proposing. Now, I'm a bit too big on the screen. I'll just reduce the size there. There we go. So interesting that proposal made the news the other day, and Quick Smart, the driving schools, on the front foot, saying that for us, not a good idea because of the reasons that they listed there. So we'll see what happens with this, but it didn't get off the ground in 2011 when it first was put into first proposed, and of course the European Union again saying to Spain, well, you better work something out because it's easier to learn to drive in other countries and get your license than it is in Spain. So sort it out, Spain. But of course the opposition comes from the driving schools, of course, as we would, of course, realize. Another piece of news here, and FODAS lists 3 Spanish destinations to avoid in 2025 due to overcrowding, or FODAS. Spain welcomed a record 98.3 million international tourists between January and November 2024, but this surge has led to overcrowding and locals' protests against mass tourism in popular destinations. FODAS, I think that's how you pronounce it, no-go list for 2025 highlights Barcelona, the Canary Islands, and Mallorca as places to avoid due to these issues. Barcelona, one of Europe's top tourist cities, has seen rental prices rise by 68% over the past decade, largely due to holiday rentals, while the city plans to revoke all holiday rental licenses by 2028. Tensions between locals and tourists remain high. The Canary Islands, where tourism accounts for 35% of regional GDP and generated $17 billion in 2023, have also seen protests, with residents expressing frustration through slogans like "The Canaries have a limit." Mallorca, a frequent member of FODA's list since 2019, continues to struggle with over-tourism and its impact on local life. And as we know, this is one of the reasons why Mr. Sanchez came out with that 12-point plan yesterday, because of this overcrowding and residents complaining about the tourism industry, and also the increase in rental prices, which, as we saw there in some parts of the country, as high as 68%. So, it seems to be a difficult situation to sort out. On the one hand, Spain wants hundreds of millions of tourists, or tens of thousands of tourists, I should say, maybe cracking the 100 million mark. That's what the country wants for the economy. But of course, how do you balance that with local sentiments, with local feelings? People that clearly don't want their neighborhoods invaded by hordes of tourists. That is the issue. But those 3 destinations, they're being warned against visiting in 2025 by that magazine: Mallorca, Barcelona, and the whole of the Canary Islands. I'm heading there soon, so we'll see what the reception is like, but hopefully I won't be targeted as a persona non grata when I hit the Canaries come February. We'll see. Last piece of news, and the Spanish gastronomy contributes 27% of GDP and almost a quarter of jobs in Spain. The Spanish gastronomy sector accounted for 27% of GDP in the past year, equating to an economic contribution of 374 billion euros. It also impacts 37% of the job market, with a total equivalent of 7.2 million full-time positions. These figures come from the report Spanish Gastronomy: Impact and Trends of a Key Ecosystem for the Economy, presented in Madrid by the Royal Academy of Gastronomy and KPMG. The study highlights the sector's significant contribution to Spain's economy and employment, as well as the challenges it faces. At the presentation, Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Minister Luis Planas praised the high quality of Spanish products, attributing their success to the hard work, investment and dedication of workers across the entire gastronomic value chain. So there we go, Spanish food, which is surging around the world at the moment. Lots of people falling in love with Spanish cuisine. Lots of people a little bit critical of some Spanish cuisine, especially some of the dishes that you get served up here for the amount of grease and carbs and things like that. But the products that we're talking about there that are making headway around the world, obviously the high-end Spanish gastronomy products, but also some chefs making an impact around the world as well as far as gastronomy is concerned. So let me know your opinion on that too in the chat and comment section. Your opinion on the quality of Spanish gastronomy. Now into the comment section I'm going to go. I'll get there in just a moment. I'll just organise my screen a little bit better here. It's a bit messy. First one here today is by Janouk. I just drove almost 3,000 kilometres or miles across Spain with my US licence and international driving permit, which allows me to drive there. When I move to Spain, I will continue to use my US licence while renewing the international driving permit every year. Thanks, Janouk, for that. And interesting to see what you're planning to do. Sounds easy, right? You just renew your international driver's license every 6 months or every year. Keep driving on your US license, but unfortunately, it's not that easy because after 6 months of being a resident here, your home license is not valid any longer. And should you have an accident driving with that license and they put 2 and 2 together and work out that you are a resident in Spain, you will not be insured, and you will also have serious problems as far as the law is concerned. So people have tried this in the past, and I'm sure people have got away with it because they haven't been picked up. But it's always the case of if you have an issue and you haven't got a valid driver's license because your US license is not going to be valid, legally, that's the issue. So have another think about that, Janouk, and maybe you need to start organising the driving school, or maybe if that new system goes through, you can get a friend to show you how to drive properly here in Spain. Thanks for that. Another one here from J. de Grant. Sanchez is more concerned with covering up all the corruption. He is knee-deep. Did you hear about his brother declaring last week? Thanks for that. Yeah, I did hear about Mr. Sanchez's brother facing court last week, trying to justify a job that he was given in the province of Badajoz, and apparently it was a position that was created for him, and that's what they're trying to get to the bottom of, or allegedly created for him, and that's what the courts are trying to work out. Why was the position created for him? Or why was he the person that received that job? Because it is a public job, of course, and other people were hoping to get that job. But, of course, when you're up against somebody like the Prime Minister's brother, maybe it's not that easy. So he's knee-deep in that story. He's also knee-deep in his wife's alleged corruption scandal. Well, it's not an alleged corruption scandal. The scandal is happening, but the allegations, of course, are yet to be proved. So he is knee-deep, but according to Mr. Sanchez, there's nothing to be seen there, and he's just like water off a duck's back, getting on with his job. And we'll see where it all ends up. But it's a complete mess, as anybody who follows Spanish politics will know. But it's not the first time that we've seen very messy corruption, alleged corruption scandals, dog governments in this country. It happens virtually every time a new government comes in. It doesn't take long before these cases to surface. So we'll wait for the courts to get to the bottom of it. But as we know, that can take a long, long time. Thanks for the comment. Another one here from Edward. As regards the roundabout, I don't think you have explained it correctly, as I am a Spanish person who lives here in Spain, and I think you need to explain exactly the rules of a roundabout when it's only a 2-lane roundabout, as it is completely different to the UK. Thanks, Edward, for that, but I invite you to put your own video up on YouTube and try to explain the roundabout system in this country, because I've read numerous documents over the last week or so, and I still can't work it out. So my advice is to just drive here when it comes to roundabouts. Be careful, be prudent in the roundabout. Don't try to exit from the inside lane, and you should be okay. And always be checking those rear vision mirrors, because that's the secret to driving, not only in other countries as well, but here in Spain. You have to be on your rear vision mirrors basically the whole time, constantly when you are driving, always looking to check that there's not somebody coming up on your left or on your right that could create an accident situation. So thanks for the comment, Edward, but as I suggested, perhaps do your own video and try to explain it yourself, because I give up. Another one here from Barry in Murcia. There are a lot of empty, half-finished housing developments from the last housing boom. Why can the government not get the banks to release them, get them habitable, and sell them off at a cheaper price? Thanks, Barry, for that. The secret there is in what you mentioned in your comment, to try to get the banks to release them. That is going to be the big issue. So, I don't know if that's going to be an easy thing to do. It hasn't been done yet as far as these bank houses are concerned. They're obviously holding on to them for the value, and one day we'll sell them, because as we know, banks are not in a hurry to do anything. They can wait literally tens or hundreds of years with assets on their books, and then sell them off when they are going to make the profit that they expect to make. So will the government be able to convince them? Haven't done it yet. Can't see it happening soon. So the idea is to build more homes, which is what the Partido Popular will be doing in Murcia, given that it controls that autonomous community. So you'll be seeing new constructions, and those other ones will probably remain empty. That would be my guess, Barry. Another one here from Simon. I think you need to include vale and venga in your Spanish language videos. Yeah, I've got quite a good response from viewers to that video that I put out yesterday, the Spanish language video. I'll be doing more, that is for sure, because there's lots of knowledge that I can pass on. And I don't know what the schedule will be, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, I don't know. But I will be putting out more videos to help people with their Spanish, because as I mentioned in virtually every video that I do, language is the key to living happily in this country. In my opinion, of course. I'm sure there are people that live perfectly happily not learning Spanish and just going about with their German or their French or their English or their Dutch or whatever language they speak. But if you want to interact with the locals, and believe me, the locals will appreciate it when you do interact with them in their own language. So my suggestion is that. So more videos I will be putting out. Thanks for the comment there. And I could include vale, venga, which are two words that you will hear hundreds of times every week here in Spain. Vale, venga, vámonos. Next one here from Peter. My current favorite word is perdona. Mi español es muy limitado. Thanks, Peter, for that. Yeah, I understand that a lot of people struggle with the language, and of course it's a question of putting sentences together, phrases together, and things that you can learn. Perdona, of course, a great way to catch people's attention. Perdona. Also, if you want to apologize for something, perdóname. So lots of words that we can, or I can put into videos and put out there to help you guys with your Spanish language skills, which, as I said a second or two ago, fundamental. Another one here from John. Que tenga surprises me a little. I haven't seen que used in that way before. Thanks, John. That was the last one I think I put out yesterday, the last expression. Que tengas un buen día. And basically, I think the translation would be may you have a good day. So it's sort of a nice way of wishing somebody a good day. May you have a nice day, sir. Que tenga un buen día, señor. Que tenga un buen día, señorita. Que tengas un buen día, tío. So all of those expressions you can use. And it's quite common to say, for example, For example, in the movie Star Wars, I can't remember what the exact expression, but the expression in English, "May the Force be with you," was translated using that que at the beginning of the sentence. I can't remember exactly what it was in Spanish. It slipped my mind currently, but another expression would be "que te vaya bien." Que te vaya bien, which would be another one that you could use, or quite common in religious circles, que Dios te bendiga is another one that people you will use and you will hear. May the Force be with you, if you can remember what that is in Spanish, but I think it does start with K. I'll see if I can look it up here quickly. But if anybody knows, please let me know in the chat section or the comment section. May the Force be with you, how that was translated into Spanish. Now, I'm going to go into the chat section in just a moment. Before I get there, time to change the backdrop photo. This one was sent in by Manuel, and it is Montserrat, a town in Valencia, his town. And Manuel took this photo, I imagine, either early in the morning or early evening. Lovely photo of his town there. Thanks, Manuel, for sending it through. And if you've got a similar picture that you would like to see on the backdrop, the email address is coming onto the screen now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And also people that send me through information. For example, people sent me through that article about the places that should be avoided in 2025 in Spain, Mallorca, Barcelona, and the Canary Islands. Various people sent me that link to that article. So thank you very much for that. The like icon is also going on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Just below the video, you will find the like icon. We're sitting currently at 72. We've got 2 dislikes today, so obviously we've got some haters in the audience. Good to see you as well, my friends. 298 people watching, so high viewership today. 80 likes. Hit the like button. We'll see if we can get it up to a decent tally. So consider that. People that have supported the channel in recent times, so I'm going to thank them too. People on the super thanks or super chat option here on the live streams. People that have bought me a coffee. Harry bought me a coffee just before the live stream. Rian bought me some coffees earlier today. Thank you very much for that. And longer-term supporters on Patreon, thank you very much for that support. And also channel members with the new channel membership option. We've had some new members jump on board. Miles, Stratospherian, Domrod, and Zaman, I think, is the other one here. Can't see that properly. I think it's Zaman. Thank you very much for jumping on board with that membership. And as I said, there's new options available now. 99 cents is the cheapest option. And if you can support the channel more, you've got that option as well. So thank you very much for that. Now I'm going to go into the chat section, see what's bubbling away there. I saw a super chat come through from Marcus, regular contributor to the channel, not only economically, but also with comments. Thanks, Marcus. I'm loving Sanchez's proposals. I'd extend the tax to property inheritance to non-EU resident, non-EU citizens' heirs. That'll free up housing pronto. So another idea put forward there by Marcus. Thanks, Marcus, for that. Thanks for your contribution to the channel too. Barbara's in the chat, the first person that I can see to date. Valued member is Marcus. Barbara, as was Marcus. Hola todos from a cold playa Flamenca. It's been sunny and 14 there today, dropping to 4 tonight. Chilly. It was 4 below zero where I am this morning. I think it's going to be around that this morning, tomorrow morning as well. Frederick's off to the Costa del Sol for 6 weeks tomorrow. You lucky thing, Frederick. Lucky. Off to the Costa del Sol. Hope the weather is decent. I'm sure it will be. And Frederick's going there from Worthing in the UK, where it's a chilly 8 degrees. So I'm sure you will appreciate the change in temperature, Frederick. Have a great trip. Sani in the chat as well. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are well. Thanks, Sani. Good to see you. Dunk. Yo, if this goes ahead, Spain has once again crippled itself. Bye-bye, UK. Yeah, I thought the plan was that is on the table, of course, nothing official yet, as we know. It's a little bit extreme, 100% tax. So if you buy a property for $200,000, you're expected to fork out another $200,000 in tax. Get real. And obviously people have bought property in Spain to speculate, but a lot of people might have bought property to have a holiday home or to come down for 6 weeks or a month or 3 months and spend some time in Spain, put money into the Spanish economy. So don't know, but the Prime Minister under pressure to fix this situation, because it'll probably be a key election vote decider, I would say, when Spain holds its next elections, maybe whenever. I don't know when it's going to be this year, maybe if the opposition party get its act together, or in 2027, I think, officially, when they need to hold the next elections. Richard in the chat too, hoping everyone is well, valued member. We came back to the UK yesterday afternoon, had some fantastic weather in Malaga. Olive oil is certainly coming down. Cosur, 3 for the price of 2 in Carrefour, $6.99 a litre. Of course, Richard, but you've got to buy 3 litres at $6.99, so you're looking at spending over €20 to get those 3 litres. If you go to Mercadona, I think the extra virgin olive oil, their home brand, is sitting at around €6 at the moment, so probably cheaper, but the brand is what you're paying for there with the Cosur. High Fly, valued member also. John, greetings from a sunny but cold Essex in the UK. Janet's coming in from Oxford, valued member 2. Much more pleasant day to day. Thanks for that. Thanks, Janet. Good to see you. I got some thurrapa, brought it home. Haven't tried it yet. Not sure what that is. What is that, Richard? Let me know. Is it a brand or is it a type of something? Let me know. Tio Al, currently in San Diego, 18 degrees there. Missing El Puerto de Santa Maria. We'll be back in March. Thanks, Al, for that. Good to see you got back to the States safe and sound. UK veteran, really interested on your thoughts that this will even get through a vote on the Spanish Parliament. It's going to be difficult because, as we know, Mr. Sanchez has a fairly hodgepodge group of coalition, well, not really coalition partners, but voting partners in the Parliament. They don't really see eye to eye on many issues, and this could be one that they don't get the support for. So we'll see. The opposition will vote against it, no doubt, but the other parties, yeah, we'll see. It'll be difficult, UK. That's all I'm going to say on that. It'll be difficult for Mr. Sanchez, but he's got other things through before by promising whatever to these smaller parties around the country. Amanda coming in from a milder Shropshire. Hope everyone is well. Huge full moon last night. Thanks for that. Janet loved the Spanish language video. Thanks, Janet, for your support with that video. And as I said, hopefully more I will be able to do. Hello to all from a sunny and warm Surprise, Arizona. Dr. Gigi, valued member, coming in. Love the Spanish language video. Please do more. Thanks, Gigi, for that. Will do, as I said. Should be able to put a few more together at least. Richard missed the Spanish language video. Looking forward to watching it. Thanks, Richard, for that. Hope you get around to watching it. Echo, echo, echo. That was probably at the beginning. Hopefully we haven't got the same echoes now that I'm on the broadcast mic here. Thanks for that. Quiet, yeah, that was the issue, but I fixed it quickly, I think. Let me know if it's still an issue. Hopefully it's not. Getting echo. Harry, that I mentioned before, valued member, and also bought me a coffee before. Hello from Edinburgh. Good to see you, Harry, in the chat today. Sound like I'm at the bottom of a well. Hopefully that's not the case anymore, as I just mentioned. I'm coming through on the broadcast mic currently, but there was a minute or so at the beginning where it was a bit tinny, no doubt, because it was the computer audio. So I fixed it. Not echoey now. Bronny coming in here. Buenas tardes, Stu. That housing story is all over the news here in the UK. Best wishes, Bronny in foggy South Wales. Yeah, of course it is, because the UK is one of the biggest contributors to foreign home purchases in this country, or at least it has been. I imagine that the whole Brexit saga probably put a lot of people off buying homes here because it wasn't as easy as it was before, and now it's just another another problem, basically another hurdle for many people to try to get over. But like I said, if you become a resident here, if you've got the funds to become a resident in Spain, you can buy property. The problem is that if you just wanted to buy property for holiday purposes or for investment purposes, it will no longer be an option if Mr. Sanchez's plans get off the ground. 100% tax will only apply to a small number of people, e.g. non-EU. Doesn't stop people in the in the EU buying property. That is true. But of course, the UK is, as we know. Evening all says, Brad, thanks, Brad. Good to see you. Build more house that only Spanish can buy. Thanks for that. Yeah, that's another plan as well. Mr. Sanchez mentioned that yesterday too. A couple of years ago, he was talking about tens of thousands of social homes, and I think yesterday the figures come down to something like 3,000 or 4,000. So he's cut his numbers on that. What else? It okay. What's this? It okay go on holiday in Spain? Not sure. It okay to go on holiday in Spain? I can't see why not. If you've got the money, get a hotel, catch a plane, away you go. Echo, 2 browsers open. Yeah, that was the issue that we had before. Utterly rubbish statement from Henny. Not sure what Henny's referring to. It'd be good to know, because I probably made a lot of statements and other people have made statements as well. So be a bit more specific, please, Henny. Simon saying here too, will the law pass? Does the PM have the support required? Apparently the PM doesn't have a good record of getting laws passed. He's managed to get quite a few laws passed, actually. In recent times he's had a little bit of opposition with some laws, but he's managed to get quite a few over the line. It's just a question of, as I said, getting the convincing his support group to vote in the parliament on that particular day. Adversely, this is good for UK veteran, holds an Irish passport. Well, no problem for you. No problemo, as they say badly in Spanish. Of course, the driving schools will oppose it. Absolutely, Janet. Absolutely, because it's their bread and butter. Erica's coming in from a cold terraza, morning temperature, -4. Found her kitties under the downy. I hope the week is going well. Thanks for that, Erica. I hope your week is going well too. Marmite, man. Bad move. Why only non-EU owners? There are lots of owners from the EU. This is just to distract from failed housing policies. Spain should be careful what it wishes for. Well, the reason is that there are EU laws which allow the freedom of movement and the freedom of property purchasing. That's the reason. That's the benefit of being in the EU. You can go to France, become a resident, and buy a property. You can go to Portugal, become a resident or a non-resident and buy property. It's the law. You can go to any European Union country if you are a European Union national and buy property, I believe. But from outside the European Union, that is not the case. That is not the case. Richard's glad they bought in Malaga in 2021. Yep. Got in just in time. As an EU citizen, I think the 100% tax is a great idea, as the property prices will crash. LOL. There we go. Says Al there, tongue in cheek. Simon saying exactly. But the issue is the EU can't stop EU residents. There we go. That's exactly the point there. Exactly the point. Could they tax retrospectively? I don't think so. I don't think they could. Of course, they probably they might put that idea on the table as well, but I don't think it would be legal. And I've seen stranger things happen, of course. So I'm not going to completely discard that option, but you never know. Bob saying Pedro Sanchez does not tell us how many properties were purchased by EU residents. That story is that huge numbers of German, Belgium, and French are the main purchasers. Could be, Bob. Could be. I'm sure that they are buying properties up here. given the ease that they have to do it. What else? What else have I got here? Philip just cancelled the Carnival in Canaries trip for family reasons. We'll miss my friends that live there and hope next year the pressure that over-tourism creates relents a bit. Yeah, we'll see what the numbers are this year. I think Spain is predicting over 100 million this year, or they're hoping for over 100 million. So we'll see. John's saying it doesn't matter when you bought your house, it's when you come to sell it. A lot of Spanish people will not be able to afford it, and people from abroad won't buy it because it will be too dear. Thanks, John, for that. Yeah, that's an issue with a lot of the properties they are that foreigners have bought in this country. They might be out of reach for the average Spaniard. Don't know. Yes, rich speculator, says Kim. I'm sure there are a few mixed in, Kim, but everyone? Don't know. Gareth's still going to Spain, still going on Spain to this year for 3 times. Not sure what Gareth's saying there. It doesn't seem to be very easy to read Gareth's sentences. That's the second one I've had trouble with. Thanks, Gareth. Just check your grammar there, because I don't know whether I can understand what you mean. Taraz here saying, hi Stuart, it's been a long time since I've been able to make it to a live. Thanks for keeping us informed. I do watch your show after the fact and have always found it helpful. Thanks, Taraz. Good to see you're still watching. Paradox. The property law should also be applied to non-Spanish residents who buy these properties and put them on Airbnb for massive profits, or at least put a maximum of properties you can own. That's another idea. Thanks for that. 1967 Stoddy saying the 100% tax thing is a complete misrepresentation of what Sanchez meant. It's not a 100% purchase tax, but a removal of all subsidies or deductions allowed on current property taxes. There we go. So everybody's misinterpreted what Mr. Sanchez said, even the Spanish press. Thanks for that. Andrea coming in here. Stu, in Portugal, joven de clase media cannot buy a home, so a young person, middle-class young person. Short-term tourism and foreigners buyers ruin the country. More Portuguese are leaving from Portugal than immigrants arriving. Yeah, the problem, Andrea, is the wage structure system in Portugal. I think it creates a system that it creates inequality, low salaries, and of course, in a competitive world market that we have at the moment, where you have other people in the European Union, for example, if they want to go and live in Portugal, as we just said, there's no problem with that. They can do it. And of course, they have more purchasing power than the average Portuguese. So it's an issue that the country's got to sort out itself. Stop encouraging people to live in Portugal, which the Portuguese government has done and create problems for younger generations there who need to leave the country. The government needs to sort it out. Can't blame people for buying property. The government needs to sort it. 67 Stoddy, it's not 100% purchase tax. Doubling down on that. Thanks for that. My take is that, Vodka Dave, is that Sanchez is testing the water to see what the reaction is. That's what they call it. They in Spanish it's called a global sonda or something like that. They sort of put it out there, bim. They see what the reaction is. If there's a backlash, they change their tune. All politicians do it. 20 below in Vermilon. Hello, Stu. Thanks, Mike. Bit chilly. Beatrice saying the government is housing illegal immigrants in 5-star hotels. Well, so you're bringing that story down to Spain now, are you, Beatrice, from another place that also goes with this type of thing? The government is housing illegal immigrants in 5-star hotels. Do you really think that a 5-star hotel, with the price of a 5-star hotel, would be taking in people at the government's expense? You are crazy. Thank you. I don't think that is true. The Spanish government? Don't think so. I don't think so. Que la fuerza te acompañe. There we go. That is exactly it. That is the expression. Thanks, David, for that. Que la fuerza te acompañe. I think that is true. Great picture, says John. Thank you very much for that. Perdona, a word you would really hear from a Spanish politician. That is also true. The other problems here, GA is saying, is that are created by the developer insisting on selling to overseas buyers so he can unload the properties and move on and get some money flowing so the wrong people get the property. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, GA. A lot of pieces to this puzzle. A lot. Christopher's moving permanently to Oliva at the end of the month. Hope all goes well. Selling our Airbnb home. Tons of restrictions. Nicholas coming in from the Alpujarras down there in Granada. Dave in the chat as well. Hope the family are well. I hope your family's well too. Dave, sunny in Chile there. In the St. Petersburg today. Madrid weather is freezing. Martin's coming in from Villajoyosa. Good to see you, Martin. Hope all is well. Simon coming in from Hertfordshire, I think this is, or Hertfordshire. UK, Puerto de Mazaron, Murcia. Thanks for that, Simon. A question about the language video. Was that AI you used to produce the background video or just stock? Great video regardless. Stock video, in the majority of cases, there were 2 images that I created with AI, 2 scenes of a Spanish bar or a Spanish tapas bar or something like that. All of the rest was stock footage that you get on the internet. People put the stock footage up there and sell it to people and for creators to be able to use. Thurrapa is a thurrapa de lomo, traditional spread. There we go. Never heard of that one before. Que tenga buen día in Andaluz, says Brad. Harry saying here, you've piqued my interest in the live about your language video. Going to watch it after the show. Thanks, Harry. Check it out. You'll find it on the channel. David saying a knee-jerk reaction from Sanchez. This won't stop Scandinavians, Belgian, Dutch, French and Germans from buying and driving prices up. Yes, that's another piece to the puzzle. All of the EU buyers that will continue to buy property because, as I mentioned before, Spain falls into the same category. Low salaries here in the country, higher salaries in the rest of Europe, which means that people have greater purchasing power. And when they retire, their pensions are greater than the Spanish pension. So they're able to buy property here, which is cheap for them. And the weather's better, and that's why people come down. And there's going to be thousands and thousands of people coming down doing exactly the same thing because they want to live where the weather is good. And the Spanish lifestyle and the Spanish cuisine and all of these things that come with that, but the main reason is that the weather is good. That's the main reason. If Spain was up where Finland is, nobody, and had the same system, nobody would be going there. I can guarantee that. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Christopher also saying, bought the flat in 2019 and another in 2022 as an American. There we go. Won't be able to do that anymore as an American, Chris, if Mr. Sanchez's ideas get through Parliament. David saying the tax thing is happening in different ways in parts of Wales. Some councils are now charging up to 300% more for council tax, but only second holiday homes. There's probably, again, people from other parts of the UK snapping up property in Wales for their holiday homes. Rebecca saying, good evening from Camposol in Mazaron. Glad we bought in 2019. Everyone buying up around me seems to be French, German and Dutch, always pushing prices right up. Exactly, because as I said, they're looking for good weather and Murcia guarantees them good weather. People just want to wake up in the morning and see the sun shining, which is something that you can't get in lots of parts of Germany for 10 months of the year, or Holland or France. And when you wake up here and, it's a December day or a January day, of course there are cold snaps, we all know that, but you can still get out and about. You can go to the beach, you can do your yoga, and the sun will shine down on you, and you can salute the sun. What else we got going on here? Evil saying is there any evidence that foreigners and locals are competing for similar property? Seems to me that locals want to be near work and foreigners want to be near beaches. The problem is the people that have been snapping up properties in the main tourist centres here in Spain and turning those properties into Airbnb. That's what Mr. Sanchez is talking about. Whether it's individuals, whether it's corporations, I've got no idea, but that is the issue. That's the issue. Not somebody who's buying a home on the Costa Blanca overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. That is not the issue. The issue is people that are buying property in Madrid, Barcelona, Seville, Malaga, all of the main tourist places here, and putting those properties out for rent. They put one of those little electronic key devices on the door. It happens in Portugal as well. People, you don't even need to greet the person who's coming to your property. They just get a code, beep, 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 beep. They pay, they go in, they spend their time, and they leave. And that is what is creating a rental shortage in the country. And also property prices going up. What else we got going on here? Good evening, says David from Torrevieja. Thanks for that. Restaurant prices, golf fees, everything goes up. Golf green fees, yes, that is true. Jones saying here, apparently Sanchez's ideas rarely get through Parliament. Foreigners, holiday homes aren't the problem anyway. It's the Spaniards who buy the houses up for Airbnbs. There's a mix of that as well, but there is a lot of foreign investment coming into that. Foreign funds saw a niche in the market. I know one particular company that bought up a whole apartment block in the center of Madrid, gutted it, and turned it into Airbnb apartments. I've seen the same thing happen in Salamanca as well. It started off on one floor of an apartment block, then went up to the second, then the third, then the fourth, until they take over the whole building, basically, and that's what's happening. Are they foreigners? Are they Spaniards? Don't know, but there is a lot of foreign investment in that. Now I'm going to wrap the live stream up. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back again on Thursday with another one. We'll see if anything breaks regarding this story over the next couple of days, what the government's follow-up on this is. Stay tuned. It's been a pleasure, as I said. Hasta luego, hasta entonces, y que tengáis un buen día. Buenas noches.